Welcome to the Drunken Zombies Podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Get ready for a daily dose of delicious zombie tales, all served up with a side of spooky fun.
That's right.
I'm Adrian, and with me is our resident zombie expert, Julia.
Hey, everyone. Get ready for some brain-hungry adventures.
Each day, we'll be cracking open a new zombie story, and believe me, we've got some real nail-biters lined up.
Oh, yeah, we do.
So, if you're a fan of the Undead and you're looking for stories of survival against impossible odds, you've definitely come to the right place.
For sure.
Now, you're probably thinking, okay, Adrian, what's on the menu for today? Well, let me set the scene.
Okay.
We're heading deep into Green Pine Forest, where a group of scouts from Troop 117 are on a wilderness adventure, led by their trusted scout leader, Thompson. They're expecting a fun trip, building skills, enjoying the great outdoors.
Right.
But instead, they're about to get a crash course in zombie survival.
Classic horror movie trope. Idyllic setting, unsuspecting characters, and then bam, everything goes sideways.
Right. And things take a turn when Ranger Mike stumbles into their camp looking panicked.
Oh.
And warning of something terrible spreading through the forest. Talk about a buzzkill, right?
Definitely a buzzkill. So, what does Ranger Mike say is happening?
Well, Ranger Mike drops a bombshell. People and animals are turning into zombies.
Okay.
The story doesn't tell us how it's happening, so we're left wondering, what are the rules of this particular zombie apocalypse?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Is it a virus? A curse?
Right.
Something totally unique to this forest.
Yeah.
It really sets the stage for a suspenseful mystery.
It does.
As you can imagine, this news sends the scouts into a frenzy.
Oh, I bet.
But Scout Leader Thompson immediately goes into survival mode, using his training to protect the kids. What stands out to you about his initial reaction?
Well, Thompson's quick thinking suggests he might be a key player in this story. It's almost like the author is giving us a subtle hint. Watch this guy. He's going to be important. Plus, it plays into that classic trope of the experienced leader guiding the group through danger.
I see what you mean.
Yeah.
So armed with their scouting skills, the scouts attempt to fortify the camp.
Okay.
They're building barriers, making makeshift weapons, but you can tell their efforts are a little naive.
Yeah.
It's textbook knowledge versus the harsh reality of an actual zombie attack.
It's interesting, right? We often see this contrast between theory and practice in zombie stories. These scouts are prepared for the challenges of the wilderness, but nothing could have truly prepared them for the sheer chaos and unpredictability of a zombie horde.
They quickly realize that brute force isn't going to be enough.
Right.
They need to be smarter.
Yeah.
They need to outthink these zombies. And that's when things get really interesting. The whole scouts versus zombies theme comes alive.
Yeah.
They start using their knowledge of the environment combined with what they know about zombie weaknesses to create traps and diversions. What are your thoughts on this shift in their strategy?
Well, it speaks to the adaptability that's crucial in any survival situation. They're realizing they can't win through sheer strength alone. They have to use their brains. This resonates with a lot of classic zombie lore. Think about movies like Night of the Living Dead or Shaun of the Dead, where the protagonists survive by being resourceful and outsmarting the undead.
One of the scouts, Alex, comes up with a daring plan to lure the zombies into a canyon, using the terrain to their advantage.
Okay.
It's a huge gamble, but it could be their only chance. I'm already on the edge of my seat wondering if they can pull it off.
Yeah. But just as we think they might have a glimmer of hope, there's a gut-wrenching twist.
What happens?
Scout leader Thompson, the very person they've entrusted their lives to, turns into a zombie.
No way.
Yeah.
And not only that, he ends up leading the horde.
He does.
Talk about a betrayal. The scout's mentor, their protector, is now their biggest threat. This completely flipped the script. How do you think this impacts them psychologically?
Yeah.
On top of the immediate danger?
Well, it's a devastating blow. Not only have they lost their leader, but the very person they relied on for safety is now the embodiment of their fear.
Right.
It's a classic horror element, turning something familiar and trusted into a source of terror.
I see.
This situation forces the scouts to confront their deepest fears, to question everything they thought they knew about survival, and ultimately to rely on their own instincts and abilities.
Their carefully crafted plans crumble because Thompson knows their every move. They're forced to run, their hopes dashed. The situation looks bleak, to say the least. What do you think can they possibly recover from the setback?
That's what we're going to find out. But one thing's for sure. This is where we see their true resilience tested.
All right.
They've lost their leader, their safe haven, and they're being pursued by a relentless horde led by someone they once admired. It's a true test of their scouting skills, their teamwork, and their will to survive.
Wow. This is where things take a really fascinating turn.
I'm all ears.
The scouts realize they can't overpower the zombies.
Right.
Especially with Thompson leading the charge.
Yeah.
So they have to change their approach.
Okay.
Instead of direct confrontation, they need to become ghosts in the forest.
That's a pretty radical shift in mindset.
Right.
From building barricades to becoming invisible.
Exactly. They embrace a new kind of resourcefulness.
Okay.
They learn to move silently, relying on hand signals to communicate.
Wow.
They use the forest itself as camouflage, as a weapon.
I see.
It's like they're merging with the environment.
This reminds me of that scene in Predator.
Oh, yeah.
Where the soldiers realize they're outmatched in a direct fight and they have to adapt, use the jungle to their advantage, become the predators instead of the prey.
That's a great comparison. And it highlights the importance of understanding your enemy and the environment you're in.
It's not just about brute force. It's about using your intelligence and your surroundings to survive.
But even with their newfound stealth,
yeah,
the danger is far from over.
Right.
During a terrifying night attack, one of the scouts is lost to the horde.
Oh, no.
It's a brutal reminder of the real cost of this fight.
Absolutely. It underscores the constant threat they're facing. There's no room for error, no second chances.
Right.
Every decision could be their last.
And it brings up the emotional toll this whole ordeal is taking on them.
Yeah.
They're not just fighting for their lives.
Right.
They're grieving. They're carrying the weight of loss.
You're right. Imagine the psychological burden of constantly looking over your shoulder, knowing that any moment could be your last, and having to cope with the loss of a friend in such a horrific way.
I see.
It really showcases the human element of this story, the strength it takes to keep going, even when faced with unimaginable fear and sorrow.
Their final stand against the horde is a nail-biting climax.
Oh, I bet.
They pull out all the stops, using every trick they've learned, knowing that this could be their last chance.
This scene is where all their skills, their ingenuity, and their courage are put to the ultimate test.
Right.
They've transformed from naive scouts into seasoned survivors.
Yeah.
And this final confrontation is their graduation ceremony.
And then there's the heartbreaking confrontation with the zombified Thompson.
Oh.
Alex, who has emerged as the group's leader, has to make the agonizing decision to fight his former mentor.
This is the emotional crux of the story.
Right.
It forces Alex to confront the man he once respected, the man who taught him so much, now a mindless monster.
Wow.
It's a powerful exploration of the themes of leadership, loyalty, and the painful reality of having to make impossible choices in extreme situations.
The fight is brutal, a desperate struggle for survival.
I bet.
But ultimately, the scouts manage to defeat Thompson.
Okay.
However, their victory is bittersweet.
Right.
They've lost so much, endured unimaginable horrors.
It's a victory tinged with sorrow and exhaustion.
Yeah.
They've survived this encounter, but the fight has taken its toll.
And just when they think it might be over,
Yeah.
the ground starts to shake.
Huh?
They look up and see something chilling.
What's that?
A deer, eyes glazed over, stumbling towards them, clearly infected.
So the virus is mutating.
Yeah.
It's spreading to animals, expanding the threat beyond what they could have ever imagined.
Their hard-fought victory feels hollow.
Right.
They might have survived this battle, but the war is far from over.
It's true.
In fact, it feels like it's just beginning.
That's the terrifying reality of a zombie apocalypse. It's relentless, unpredictable.
Right.
And this final twist leaves us wondering, what will the scouts do now? How will they face this new, even more terrifying chapter in their fight for survival?
It really makes you think, doesn't it? If you were in their shoes, what would you do?
Yeah.
How would you adapt to this new threat?
This story really showcases the importance of resourcefulness, adaptability, and teamwork in the face of overwhelming odds. It's a thrilling and terrifying exploration of the zombie genre, with a thought-provoking look at the resilience of the human spirit.
I completely agree. This episode has been a wild ride, filled with suspense, horror, and some genuinely insightful moments.
Yeah.
I'm left feeling both exhilarated and a little shaken.
I think that's the mark of a good zombie story.
Right.
It entertains us, scares us, but it also makes us think about what we would do in a similar situation.
So what do you say we raise a glass to the brave scouts of Troop 117?
Yes, let's.
To their courage, their ingenuity, and their unyielding spirit in the face of the undead.
Cheers to that. And cheers to all of you listening. Stay safe out there, keep those brains sharp, and we'll be back tomorrow with another spine-chilling tale from the world of the Drunken Zombies.
You know, it's not just about physical survival in a zombie apocalypse, is it?
Right.
It's about mental resilience, too. The scouts have been through so much. The constant threat, the loss of their leader, the betrayal, the loss of a friend.
Mm-hmm.
Yet they never give up.
Exactly. That's what I find so compelling about this story.
Right.
They face unimaginable horrors.
Yeah.
But they keep finding the strength to adapt, to innovate, to support each other.
Mm-hmm.
They embody that whole necessity is the mother of invention idea.
Their scouting skills take on a whole new meaning in this context.
Right.
Resourcefulness, adaptability, thinking on your feet. These aren't just abstract concepts anymore.
Yeah.
They're the tools of survival.
And it makes you wonder,
Yeah.
what skills do we take for granted in our everyday lives that would become absolutely essential in a crisis?
Right. Like, could you start a fire without a lighter?
Yeah.
Could you navigate by the stars? Could you build a shelter from scratch?
Right.
Maybe it's time we all brushed up on our survival skills, just in case.
Absolutely. And beyond the practical skills,
Yeah.
there's the mental and emotional aspect.
Right.
How do you maintain hope in the face of despair? How do you deal with grief and trauma while constantly on the run?
This story really emphasizes the importance of community, too.
Yeah.
They're not just a group of individuals. They're a team.
Right.
They rely on each other. They learn from each other. They draw strength from each other.
That sense of belonging, of shared purpose,
Right.
can be incredibly powerful, especially in a crisis.
Yeah.
It reminds us that even when everything else falls apart, human connection can be a lifeline.
So if we had to distill some key takeaways from this whole experience, what would they be?
Well, first, never underestimate the importance of preparation.
Okay.
Even if you're not expecting a zombie apocalypse, having some basic survival skills and emergency supplies can make a huge difference in any unexpected situation.
Right. And second, adaptability is key.
For sure.
Being able to think on your feet,
Yeah.
to improvise solutions, to adjust to changing circumstances. That's what separates the survivors from the zombies.
And third, never give up hope. Even when things seem bleak, there's always a chance for survival.
Right.
Remember the scouts.
Yeah.
They lost their leader. They faced incredible odds, but they kept fighting, they kept adapting, and they ultimately found a way to overcome the challenges they faced.
It's a powerful message of resilience,
Yeah.
of the strength of the human spirit, of the importance of community and hope, even in the darkest of times.
So next time you're out in the wilderness, or even just walking down the street,
Right.
take a moment to appreciate the skills you have, the people you rely on, and the resilience that lies within you.
And if you ever hear a strange shuffling sound in the distance, or catch a glimpse of a glazed-over stare, well, you know who to call on for advice.
That's right. Until then, stay safe out there, keep those brains sharp, and we'll be back tomorrow with another chilling tale from the world of the Drunken Zombies.
Cheers to that, and cheers to all of you, our loyal listeners.
Yeah, cheers to you guys.
Thanks for joining us on this wild ride.
It's been fun.
Until next time, sleep tight. And don't let the bed bugs bite.
For the zombies.
Exactly.